Hey guys, Tomboy61, and today we're going out there and just sort of promoting a competition that is going on to win a Weimar. Of course, the Weimar being the ship of the moment right now, a very powerful HE spammer and premium ship. And as you guys know, every month the good old people over at wowsbuilds.com, actually it's just one guy, Father Monday, but anyway, they put on a wonderful competition that goes with one of two ships for either a high damage record or a high XP record. If your name is at the top of the leaderboard at month's end, well, you win a ship. This month, the first place prize is going to be the Weimar, which is excellent. The second place prize is going to be 5,000 doubloons. The third place prize is 10 million in-game credits to your account. And then, just for competing, just for submitting a score, so not even having to be very good at either of these ships, just for basically a participation prize, you are entered to win one of four prizes. Charles F. Hughes, the Zuihos, so the two premiums from the last go-around, and then two prizes of 2,500 doubloons. So, all in all, great prizes up for grabs. If you've never done this competition before, I highly recommend it. It is great fun because it definitely lets you get out there and use some ships that you usually wouldn't use. And this month is really cool because they are some low tier ships. So even if you're not very far into the game, you have the ability to compete. And the two ships for base XP is going to be the Dyna. It's what you see up here on the screen, the tier 3 British cruiser. It's a very anemic sort of ship. It does not perform the best. It does not have the telltale British smoke at its disposal, so you need to play this ship very carefully. And the goal for this ship is, of course, to get the highest base XP. The ship for the high damage, or basically just a full-out shootout, is going to be the Montecoli. That's the tier 4 Italian cruiser, which, hey, I really like that one. They've gone ahead and kind of mixed up what ships they're going to use as far as tier-wise, one being a tier 3 and one being a tier 4. Montecoli, also a very fun ship, but it's one that can be quite difficult because if you want to get high damage in it, you are going to need to focus on those citadels, and that's kind of the whole thing with these ships. Now, as far as entering, all you have to do is head over to wowsbuilds.com, have an account. It's free to create an account. You head on over to the Champions tab. Then you basically just submit right under where the ships are featured. You will see for the base XP, you want to submit this screen of the scoreboard. If for the damage, you want to submit this screen. So there's, depending on what you are competing in, you want to make sure you submit the correct score, because if you don't, you won't have a valid score, and then you're not competing, which is unfortunate. Anyways, so we are in the Dyna. This is my match that ends with, I think, just a hair over 2,000. Remember, when you're in the lower tiers, not as much XP is up for grabs, so it's not the huge numbers that we usually see. But I think this is going to be a decent effort. Now, as far as my plan, my strategy, Dyna is she's a paper ship. We need to play her cautiously. And that's just kind of what we're doing. We already got one cap. Remembering that, of course, because we're going after XP, caps are a very important source of income, essentially, for us. We go ahead and just narrowly dodge that torpedo from the pod right there. But we've already captured C, and B is on its way to be capped. We might as well get in here if we can survive. We see that a lot of the enemy team is kind of hiding behind that island. If we can keep ourselves out of their line of fire, we're going to do well. Of course, we are quite exposed when we're out here. And we could absolutely get ended very quickly. But right now, we're angled towards the P-Tor that is out there. There's a V-130 that is spotted, and an Emerald going to be the primary targets. Because, of course, remember, damage done doesn't really matter when you're going for XP. It's all about a percentage of damage done to ships. So if you have ships with smaller HP pools, like in this case, the V-170, or that destroyer that we took out earlier, those hit points are going to be worth more than if we took the same amount of hit points off of, say, a battleship. So at this point, B-130 kind of just sailing out there, and he has some free XP for us to take. Diane has some pretty decent guns. I think the biggest trick up her sleeve is, of course, she does have 3 heals, which is very nice. You can go ahead and stay away from Citadel damage, not like we're doing right here, where we should have maybe gotten deleted, but thankfully the RNG gods decided it was not our time. Well, we go ahead and anyways, if we can keep Citadel damage off of us, we will do a lot better. At this point, we're just kind of biding our time. We see Pitor has decided to sort of chase after us, and that's fine by us. If we can draw him towards us, it's going to expose him to a little bit more angles of fire, and that's just what we want. We see our teammates capping A, and we do kind of want to get out there. We see that the enemy aircraft carrier is also spotted, and aircraft carriers, while they do have a lot of health, are still fairly easy XP pinatas for us to go ahead and hit. And we can see that this side is fairly well, not really exposed. So A is going to be where we want to go because it's easier to go ahead and hit the shots. Or it's easier to go ahead and cap A to get the XP. Of course, Hosho being at such an extreme range now, that is one problem where we could start seeing some ricochets. Thankfully, that first salvo was all pens. We'll see if he goes ahead and pops up relatively soon. If he does, we'll continue to engage. We can see there's a swarm of fighters from the Hosho currently, whether it be just his regular defense fighters, his planes going back and forth, and all of that. We see he's in on a run, but this Phoenix pops out. Broadside Phoenix is always going to treat us well. Torpedoes for him are dead on target, which is going to hurt us a ton. We go ahead, pop our damage control party, pop our repair party. Phoenix, we get 2 beautiful Citadels right there. He's continuing to be somewhat broadside. Can we finish him off? Not quite yet. We need one more hit to finish off Phoenix, and he goes down. Now, for us, we just need to continue to dodge these torpedo craft. Of course, before we had kind of slowed down all the way to a stop, and that made us easy pickings for those torpedo planes. We can now see Pitor all the way out there did not choose to kind of follow us around, but instead chose to engage some of our teammates. We can see he is at very low health. Now, at this point, we could choose to go out and try and take on the rest of the ships, but we know that the best course of action for us at this point, after all, we are going after the XP once again, is to go for the cap. At this point, we've assisted in capping 2 of the locations, and if we can get this, we'll fully and wholly secured this cap all on our own, which is a beautiful little boost in XP. Also, we can go ahead and try to hit Pitor out here. We can see he is a sneeze away if we can get some of our shells to go ahead and hit him as we finish up wrapping up A. And of course, if we can kill off Pitor, it's going to provide a fairly hefty point swing in our favor, which will end the game neatly. I don't think we'll quite end up instantly ending it because battleships are worth about a 100-point swing, but it will still be a substantial chunk there. We see it goes up to 830 points, and now all that is left is that enemy aircraft carrier. Of course, that's going to be a little bit of a trouble, but at this point, we have 4 of the capture points, and points are just going to go ahead and tick up, and I don't think we're actually going to end up being able to kill the aircraft carrier. So yeah, that's this game. We end up with 2,092 XP. Fairly decent for a tier 3 match, but if you can beat it, hey, you could find yourself a free Wiemar. Once again, that competition is over at wowsbuilds.com. Link to it will be down in the description below. I love these competitions. They are great fun, and I highly recommend you guys go ahead and participate. Anyways, guys, if you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. See ya.